Warning. This video blog or vlog may contain harsh language and opinions that are not necessarily in line with YouTube or its partners or affiliates. YouTube does not openly endorse the content of this vlog. All opinions are expressly those of Ranting Ramsay and do not reflect on the opinions or values of YouTube, its affiliates, or its parent or partner companies.
Greetings, Internet people. Ranting Ramsay here. How are you all doing today? I'm not doing so badly. I've had worse days, as they say. What I'd like to talk to you about today is atheism. Yay, it's an awesomely redundant topic here on YouTube. But that's kind of one of the things that I want to take perspective on, is not just atheism in general, but atheism on YouTube, and my own personal lack of belief structure as it pertains to religious ideology, specifically those two types of things. And what leads me to want to speak about this is lately I've been kind of having some introspection going on. I've been thinking about things in my life, and there's certain things going on with members of my family and things like that, personal stuff, that has caused me to contemplate the grand scheme of existence once again. And of course I came to the same conclusion that I have had since I was old enough to rationally question the doctrine that I was fed as a infant. And that doctrine was Methodist Christianity, and at the age of 14 I rejected it. So, recently, events have caused me to once again look at that kind of thing. And my stance has not changed. I still believe that the concept of a God, any controlling deity, or any of that kind of thing is absolute and utter bullshit. And that is my personal opinion. But that's not exactly the point of what I'm talking about or wanting to talk about. And what I'm wanting to talk about, though, is that I feel, for the most part, on the general average, as they say, there really tend to be two types of atheists. Now, of course, this is not an absolute. There are many different types of atheists. But at least here on YouTube and in the discussions that I've had with people, there seem to be two distinct methods of atheism. And I have labeled them as aggressive atheism and passive atheism. Now, two very good examples that I could think of aggressive atheism, and watching their videos about them or from them, depending on which source of these two you're talking about, have been one of the things that caused me to have introspection also about my own personal lack of belief system. And those two people are Bill Maher on the national scene, and here on YouTube, Rational Warrior. And there are two videos that I kind of narrowed it down to, that these two videos made me really think about my own personal stance on atheism, or whether I wanted, whether I was an aggressive or a passive atheist. I'll get to that in just a moment. Anyway, I have linked those videos in the description. One of them is a video of an interview between Larry King and Bill Maher, where Bill Maher is probably some of the calmest I've ever seen him be when speaking about this particular subject, expressing exactly how he feels about religion. And he would be what I would call an aggressive atheist. And also in the category of what I would call an aggressive atheist, and remember, we're not using the term aggressive in a negative connotation. We're simply using it to connotate that they actively are actively atheist, and we'll explain that here in just a moment. The other person is Rational Warrior, in the video that I've linked from him in the description, and I think I'm going to post this as a response to his video if he approves it. Is what a video he entitled "Why I Do What I Do," and it's actually it's an awesome video. It's an interesting and informative video. It's about 5 minutes long, so it doesn't take that much out of your day. Watch it, and basically explains why he does what he does, to be redundant. And once again, due to the viewpoints that he expresses in that video, I myself would, if we're placing labels, would put him as an aggressive atheist. And once again, that's just fine. But I think what what I found about myself lately is that I've become something of an in-between between a passive and aggressive atheist. Now, a passive atheist, in my personal opinion, is someone who has the opinion that I held for a very long time. I don't believe in God. I think it's bullshit, but I recognize the fact that religion has the capability of doing great things internally for people, and sometimes great things en masse on the world scale. So if you need to believe in a God and a creation scheme and all this, what I consider stupid bullshit, to get through your day and be a better person and do good things in your life, then so fucking be it. There's no problem with that. But people of the mindset of Bill Maher and Rational Warrior here on YouTube say, no, there is a problem with that, because the very belief system in which you partake displays a fundamental flaw in your rational reasoning, and if you can possibly conceive religion as being a real thing and a good thing, or not necessarily a good thing, but a real thing and a plausible thing that actually happened, take the Bible as its literal scripture, then there is something possibly fundamentally flawed with your methodology of thinking. Now, there's a part of me inside that cannot deny that logic. But I am also, to an extent, a very live and let live person. This is a kind of an internal conflict within myself. And so basically what it boils down to is I myself take the stance somewhere between aggressive atheism and outright passive atheism. And what that basically boils down to, in my personal view, is keep it in your home. Believe what you want to believe in the privacy of your own home, but leave it there. Don't take it out in public. Don't put it on display for everyone to see. Now, there was someone who commented on one of my previous videos on the subject of religion or atheism. I think it was called religion in general. And he said something that has stuck with me, although I can't remember who exactly said it. I know he's going to pop up in the comment section going, that was me, and I'm going to go, thank you for reminding me. But he said that religion is like a penis. It's okay to have one. And it's okay to be proud that you have one. But you really should not take it out in public and wave it around. That's just a generally bad idea. And I agree with that sentiment as it pertains to religion. Keep it in the home. Keep it to yourself. If that's what you need to get through your day-to-day life, to feel better about existence and get up in the morning and do good things towards your fellow humans, fine. But don't try to govern the rest of us based on those imaginary laws. Don't try to base systems of social, economic, or otherwise government on those imagined, supposedly divine morals written by stone-aged men. Please, I beg you, you know what I mean? So, and I just think that sums it up perfectly once again. Religion's like a penis. It's okay to have one. It's okay to be proud of it. Keep it in your fucking pants. And I want to point out that I respect Rational Warrior. I respect his stance and his fight, and I support it. But there's something inside of me that just won't let me be that outspoken about it, you know, in an outright sense. Because I think people have the right to their own minds, and that means believing in whatever they want to believe in. But I also see the great detriment to society that religion en masse, in organized form, can be to said society, and think that we should conduct and govern ourselves with a more rational, not emotional guideline, because that's what religion really kind of boils down to, in one of my personal opinions, is that it's a set of supposedly divine moral rules based on the emotions that someone felt when some other people did these things, that someone somewhere down the line, or a group of people, said, I don't want people to behave in this way, and they created the most fantastic fucking story ever in the history of mankind, because it has endured in our modern society. But then again, that's what fucking people said about Thor. That's what people said about Odin. That's what people said about the fucking Zeus and Apollo and the Greek and Roman gods and the Mesopotamian gods before them, and all the Far Eastern Shintoist, pre-Buddhist gods. I mean, it's been going on forever. But that's not the point of what I'm saying. Basically, I guess the rambling point that I'm getting to at this point is that I don't really consider myself an aggressive atheist. I can't be as outspoken to the religious groups as Rational Warrior is, and I commend him for that courage and the ability to speak in the way that he does. And one of the things that prevents me from that is I have a lot of friends that I value their opinion, I value their company, I value their friendship, but they believe in God. They are Christians. I myself have a great personal conflict with that belief, but how does that stop me from being their friend? How does that stop us from having a good time together in playing music or whatever it is we happen to be doing? How does that stop the 2 of us or the 3 of us or the 10 of us or the 50 of us from getting together and accomplishing something good as a group of human beings? It doesn't prevent us, just because I don't believe in God and they do, doesn't prevent us from accomplishing anything other than maybe a productive discussion on religion. So, this is really the end of it. I can keep rambling probably for another 5 minutes, but I've pretty much said what I turned the camera on to say. That I guess I'm somewhere between an aggressive and a passive atheist, and I don't condemn aggressive atheists, and I don't condemn passive atheists. I don't even really condemn religious people, like I've said. I don't really want to condemn anyone, because maybe child molesters and murderers, I condemn them, sure, but that's completely off the fucking subject. So, there you go, there you have it. Let me know what you think. I'm always interested in the discussions that go on in the comments section. Send me personal messages, whatever you want. Feel free to engage this video in any way that you see fit, even if it is to hit the dislike button. I don't really give a shit. I'm Ramsay. That's my rant. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?
Douche.